So in this video, we're going to talk about a third "的." We've learned two "does" in the past. The one is used to mark an adjective or an adjective phrase or possessive of a noun. So if something describes a noun, you can use a "的" to say that whatever comes before that "的" is modifying the noun that comes after it. That one's very super common. There's another one that we've learned that marks a complement, either a potential complement or a degree complement. This "的" is a different character, and I got a little hair right here. Oh, where is it? Oh, there, I got it, I think. So you know how you have something like right in front of your eye, you can't quite tell where it is. Anyway, then this "的" is put after an adjective to mark that adjective as an adverb. It makes an adjective into an adverb. And it comes, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, in the adverb spot. Where's the adverb spot? It's subject, adverb, verb, object. That's a basic word order of Chinese. Subject, adverb, verb, object. So it goes in the adverb spot. So let's look at a couple examples here. 努力 means hardworking, to exert effort. So it's an adjective meaning hardworking. 学习 means to study. And this says 你要努力的. Here's the character right here, 的. 学习. This is from All Set Learning. It means you ought to or you need to study, like study hard. I guess it means study hard here. Like study the hardworking. 你要努力的学习. There we go. I want to point out that this character, if you've been studying characters, you probably recognize it. It is normally pronounced "di," as in 地方, place or land, or place, land, dirt sometimes. 你要努力的学习. So but here it's pronounced "的." And this, when it's used as an adverb marker, it's pronounced "的." Just like all the other "does." Isn't that great? 你要努力的学习. Here is 他认真的对我说我喜欢你. This is also from All Set Learning. 他认真 means with sincerely or carefully, thoroughly, that kind of thing. 对我说 means to me say. 我喜欢你, I like you. This might make all the girls' hearts flutter a little bit. He intensely or straightforwardly or like looking right at me. 他认真的. How did he say it to me? He said it 认真的. So an adverb describes how a verb happened. 他认真的对我说我喜欢你. Also from All Set Learning, 他热情地拥抱了我. 热情 means warmly. 拥抱 means hug. So 他热情地拥抱了我. He warmly hugged me. That's also very, very nice. So it marks an adjective. You can think of "的." It's actually quite helpful to think of "的" as the ly in English. So warm, warmly. You can say that guy is very warm in his, in the way he acts or whatever. He's very warm. He has a warm personality. That would be 热情 adjective. 热情的拥抱了我. That 热情的 makes it warmly. He warmly hugged me. So it actually transfers quite nicely to think of the "的" here as the ly, which in English has the same effect. It makes an adjective into an adverb. Now, I want to address something here. And if you're on point today, you might be asking yourself a question. How is this different from a degree complement? Are you asking yourself that question? Maybe you're not. You're like, what is a degree complement again? So a degree complement it's another kind of "的" that also makes it's a complement that comes after the verb that also talks about basically how the verb was done, what effect it had, the degree of it. For example, 你说中文说得很好。你说中文, you speak Chinese, 说得很好. How do you speak it? Very well. So how are these different? This is an adverb describing a verb. The degree complement comes after the verb, but it also kind of talks about how the verb was done or whether it was done well, the degree, that kind of thing. So how's it different? Sometimes the difference between them is very, very slight, but let's broad stroke. And sometimes they basically mean the same thing. In certain situations, you could say it either way. You could make it into an adverb, or you make it into a degree complement and basically say the same thing. In context, most times it's not confusing, but there is a basic difference. And the basic difference is an adverb directly focuses on, emphasizes how the verb was done. How do you study? You study hard. How did he say it to me? He said it, I don't even know how to translate Renjun. He said it like looking right at me, thoroughly, carefully, whatever. 热情 is warm. How did he hug me? He hugged me warmly. A degree complement, it is less about describing how it was done and more about the effect it had, the effect that the action had. Let me give you an example. This is from Twin Cities Chinese Tutor on YouTube. He gave this example. I thought it was very, very good. So I will borrow it. 他高兴地吃. What is it? So 高兴means happy. That's the adjective. So in this form, we have the da here, making this 高兴 into an adverb describing eat. So he is eating happily, or he ate happily, whatever the tense is. 他吃得很高兴. This is a degree complement now. I put 很 in parentheses in order to show while a speaker would normally put 很 here, it's not affecting the overall emphasis of the sentence. It's just natural when there is when you have a subject and then a predicate adjective describing the subject. It's very natural to put 很 in there, but it just feels more fuller, more natural. But it's not affecting the overall meaning, and so I didn't want to draw attention to that. I just you could kind of take it out, and it basically say the same thing. 他吃得高兴. 他吃得很高兴. So this is emphasizing the result. He ate to the point of happiness. Because he ate, he felt happy. Does that make sense? So it's a very slight difference. This is saying he ate happily. It's describing how he was eating, and this was saying he ate, and as a result, he felt full and happy and warm and whatever. It was a happy feeling that he had because he ate. This is describing how he ate. Now, again, that distinction is very slight, and you don't have to freak out about, like when you're speaking, did I use the wrong one? Usually in context, it'll be quite clear what you meant. And the more you hear Chinese people do it, the more you'll intuit which one fits in the situation, and it'll feel more natural. But that's a very important concept to understand, so that you can begin to analyze things a little bit and try to think of it more clearly. In the next clip, I'm going to actually do a little comparison of the three does side by side. So I think that'll be interesting. So now we're going to take a look at the three does side by side. I think it's a great chance to do that because we were just talking about them in the last clip. So here they are. This is da, and this is da. And this is in the order that we've learned them. This is the most common one. This is the second most common probably, and then I believe this is the third most common. So we'll go in order here. So this da, its basic function, most common. It does have one or two other more obscure, less common functions, but it's the one I want you to remember the most is that da makes an whatever comes before the phrase or the word before it makes it into an adjective describing the noun that follows. Even if there's no noun there, it's implied. There's a noun that's implied there. It's kind of like, so you can say, if I say 蓝的, it means the blue one. Even in English, we would say the blue one. So we put the word one in there. In Chinese, it's just like the blue. 蓝的. Anyway, it makes whatever follows into whatever precedes it into an adjective. So let's look at these examples here. An adjective or possessive. A possessive, in my mind, is like an adjective because it tells you about the noun. Whose noun is it? It's this person's. So here we have a possessive. 我的爸爸, my dad. So this de, it makes 我 into a possessive. 我的爸爸. 昨天, yesterday, 吃 eat 的苹果, apple. 很大 was very big. So if I translate the sentence, it means the apple that my dad ate yesterday was very big. But this whole phrase here, from here to here, is all an adjective phrase describing apple. What apple was it? It was the apple that my dad ate yesterday. So there's two does in here. This one applies to 我, but this one applies to this whole phrase, making it all into an adjective describing the apple. What apple? It was the apple that my dad ate yesterday. 很大. So the whole sentence, the basic sentence is 苹果很大, but then this whole thing describes 苹果. So that's de. That's that de. This de is the one that makes something into a complement, either a degree complement or, as we talked about recently, potential complement. If you put it between, after the verb and before the complement part of it, it makes like a result complement into a potential complement, meaning it can or cannot happen, or able, you have ability or do not have ability. So we have 我爸爸说的中文. Okay, so this is the de from up here. What Chinese? It's the Chinese that my dad speaks. 我爸爸说的中文, 说的, here's that de, 很好. So how does my dad speak, or what's the degree of it, or what's the ability of it? It is very good. He speaks it very well. So 我爸爸说的中文说得很好. Does that make sense? So this makes what follows into a degree complement, talking about the way someone speaks, the ability to have, that kind of thing. Here we have de that we just talked about. It makes an adjective into an adverb. 爸爸快快地走过来了. So what do we have going on here? 快快 means fast, like just fast. 爸爸快快地走 walk 过来了. Remember 过来, this is a compound directional complement talking about direction. So to walk over here, or walked over toward me, or whoever we're talking about. 爸爸快快地走过来了. Dad walked over quickly. That's how dad walked over quickly, or dad quickly walked over. And so this 快快, which means fast, an adjective, becomes an adverb talking about how the walking happened. Okay, there we have it. I hope that makes it clear. When you see them side by side, hopefully, or it's not side by side, it's up and down, but you get the idea. You hopefully will be able to understand what their different functions are. And the funny thing is, when you learn Chinese, like when a child learns Chinese, they don't know the difference between these. They just do it. And in fact, a lot of Chinese people will sometimes write the wrong one into when they're texting. They usually use this one in place of the others. If they're going to make a mistake, it's really it's not seen as a mistake, but it is helpful to understand which one is which, and and do it well, so that you can kind of conceptualize what's happening. It's a little bit similar to English's your. There's three of them, right? Y-O-U-R, Y-O-U-R-E. No, there's only two of them, I guess. There's three theirs, right? There's three theirs. There, they are, there as in their thing, and something is there. So anyway, I hope that helps. You're doing great.